everybody. Welcome to the Herd Summer Racing League. This week's race is 10 laps of the Rooftop Rendezvous course. As is the case with most Herd Summer Racing League races, this race has points on the time you set through the banner. Through the segment. And this week, the segment is the Rooftop Rendezvous segment. It's about, we're watching the D racers go off now. They'll probably be something in the 4 to 5 minute range, I think. So he's looking to see who can go the fastest through that route or through that time segment each time through this route for 10 laps. Craig Martin, how are you today?
I'm not too bad. Sorry, I was just so you could hear me, but nobody else could for a couple minutes there. So I'm just grabbing who we've got here for herd riders in the D's. So we've got Kelleher. I think that's Paul, and a C Massey. And I just messed up. There we go. Okay, so they look to be in a lead group of 4. And we've got a couple more riders already a little bit off the back in the first minute. So this is a beast of a course.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard. I remember when we saw the James post the routes, looking at this one going, this will be a tough race because it is 10-3 to 4. Well, for like I've been racing with the A's, so we're the winners and look like race 1 were right down in the low 3 minutes. B's were kind of mid 3 minutes, C's were closer to 4, and then D's were high 4s to 5 minutes. So 10 all out efforts basically at that time, 3 to 5 minutes, and then coast back around and hopefully hold the group. So yeah, that's tough effort. And of course, the real challenge of this is because it's like uphill then downhill, and it's going to be longer up and then shorter down just by time. So it's actually, your rest is less than your effort.
By a long shot. A long shot.
So that's tough racing. How Chris Greenland managed a 3.1 today, I don't know.
I'm not sure either. I think some of it might have just been fatigue. That's
entirely true.
Over an hour of fairly intense repeats. Okay, so
So we've got P. Kelleher up on the broadcast right now.
We do. Actually, we've got C. Massey.
C. Massey.
Who's I mean, they're riding together.
Okay, very good. Yeah, 4 in the front group, doing well. They're still in the lead-in portion. They haven't yet hit the line for the climb yet, so it seems to be that they understand that, and they're just sort of taking their time and biding their time before they hit that timed segment, which is the strategy here for sure. Yeah. He's got a nicely coordinated outfit, I'd say. The green hat doesn't quite have fast drawn, but we'll forgive him for that.
Nice green gloves. Not a problem.
Those are sharp gloves. I don't have those gloves.
What gloves are those?
I don't know. Green with yellow stripes. I don't know what those are. It's gonna be tough. So it's gonna be tough with a group of 4 because it really will be like you're not gonna get much draft in it. Like usually the strategy of these segment races, right, is to kind of just hold the group and then come through at the back at the end, or come off the back early and then sit in the group and win the sprint at the end. But with 4 racers, like it really is going to be just your power time through the segment every time. Like you won't know where everyone is unless all 4 of you sit super close, but there won't be much draft benefit for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I was in this race, I would be, the great big fight to cross the KOM start line last, and then sprint for the line, but try to climb it to not try to drop people on the climb.
Yeah.
So we are 15 seconds to the C start.
And who are you watching for the C's?
So right now I've got Dennis Wade on
Nice.
the. Let me. Oh dear. Okay, so I've got Dennis there. However, I do have some minor issues here. Let me see if I can sort that out.
The C's should now just be on the course.
C's are definitely on the course. I can see Dennis. They're entering the arcade. Dennis is in the lead group.
There we go.
I'm just trying to. Get everything sorted out. There's always just a few things that don't come out the same way every time I open them.
That's the way Zwift works, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I can't complain too much. I'm using things in unapproved and unauthorized manners. So
Fair enough. All right, so the D's are in the segment, and Paul has absolutely lit it up.
wow. So he's
going 540 watts off the front. So
so he's not taken my my strategy there, and I guess it's smash it. Interesting call.
Yeah, I'm with you. For 10 laps, I don't know how sustainable that is, but good on him if he's gonna.
Wow.
I guess don't let them draft you if you're gonna be first.
Yeah, that's one way to play it.
He has settled in here at closer to 200 watts, but
yeah, something a little more sensible. Looks like the C's they seem to have settled in a little bit as well. Dennis is still hanging out right at the front.
That's Dennis from Herd Mentality.
That is Dennis from the Mentality.
Nice.
Who have been just burning it up in the in ZRL.
Yeah, they have.
So they had a rough go week one, where I think they got caught out by the bike change, and then but we're the top C team in all of ZRL for the TTT.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
It looks like the second place rider is just closing in on Paul here. We'll have to see how close they can get. So this is the steepest bit. I think this little ramp around is the steepest bit of the climb. This is usually the part if I'm going to get shaken. This is between here and then when they sprint for the finishes where I usually get dropped if I'm trying to hold a group on this climb. He's putting some extra digs in for sure. He's definitely decided he wants to try and shake this guy, but there's two of them, and they are going to try and hang on to him.
Okay.
The two of them, maybe. I can't tell that's one or two riders from the angle. Maybe it's just one from the aerial angle, but.
It looks like just one. Looking at the time gaps on the rider list anyway, it looks like one rider at 2 seconds, then C. Massey at 12 seconds, and Sainsbury at 18 seconds.
I should push the live button. That'll probably help it.
Okay.
We're about a minute to the B start here, so.
We're live again, and I think I've corrected things so that shouldn't happen again. But we'll continue to find out.
All right, so the D's are now on lap 2. Paul is riding behind Jeff Stone and a C rider that they have caught up on. On lap one, it's hard to say exactly where the time came in, whether Dennis or Nate, or there was one other herd rider who I couldn't tell who it was, who was right in the front group. Maybe Alan Cheville.
I think it was, yeah.
They were all real close at the finish line, so it'll be tough. I didn't see where they started, their start position was, so those guys will all have made good points. And it looks like we're in the Bs. We're going to be watching Alex Cooper,
well,
friend of the herd.
Now. I'm going to try and switch to a herd rider in a little bit, but yeah.
Okay. Alex is a friend of the herd, even though he's not a herd rider, but this should be... He should be able to do pretty well on this course. He's a very light rider, so the uphill helps him, but the big group isn't maybe the best strategy, place for him to be for the big sprint at the end either.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Alex is probably better at a sustained effort than the punchy end of the climb sprint thing that's going to happen here. So
yeah, definitely like those epic and Innsbruck type stuff is his bread and butter.
Okay.
And it looks like Paul was second across the line through this time segment. I didn't see how far behind he was at the start of the thing from Jeff Stone. So those guys are definitely probably giving the time gap back to the two. It looks like they're the 1-2s going at it here today. The A's have started. See if we can check in on the C's. Yeah, Dennis still in the front group of C's. Looks like their front group is eight riders. So they're back on the climb for climb number 2 in the C's. I definitely say that the pace is dropping off these climbs already.
I mean, can you really be surprised?
No. I would definitely be cooked as well after. I mean, I guess it depends. These guys are probably doing 85% of their best 3-minute power maybe through here. Probably something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. They're pretty good, I'd say. I mean, it depends on how much each person wants to push.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like Alex is pushing super hard right now as he's on the front. But yeah, no, these are. This is a tough one.
Yeah, and I mean there can be some strategy there about giving up some. I know for sure as I've done some of these HSRL races, I'll not go all out for the couple of the early ones and just try and get like a good place without getting the best place to know that I'm gonna have to like murder myself later on.
Yeah.
To get some of those, and it kind of somewhat works out.
So it looks like we have Ian Elston and Felipe Alberto in the front group here from the herd.
In the Bs?
In the Bs, and it looks like there's one more, but I haven't caught who it is yet.
I see a Jacob Hitchener with a herd thing in the live Zwift power feed.
Oh, okay, Jake. Yep.
Good. He's that makes sense.
Ian should be able to do pretty good.
This is a tough group. I don't know if you saw the dirt contingent that's here, but they're strong, so it's going to be interesting.
Clay Jackson's here. He's a very good racer.
Yeah. Yeah, so I saw Timmy Time from OTR, Ryan Wang from ATP. This is a strong. It might not be the biggest race field we've had, but this is a strong field. Carrie Lash, it is. That's the other herd rider.
Carrie Lash, yep.
Yeah. They're just
good. So it looked like Dennis might have actually been at the 6th or 5th through that group that time, depending on where he started. There's definitely like close to the line a few racers who broke hard for the line, so there's a 2-second gap that he's going to want to try and catch on here if he can. So that is definitely, I think, part of the race is staying in the fast group. Like, there's a little bit of strategy around, not wearing yourself out, staying with the group and then punching it, but staying in the fast group, knowing where that fastest group is. It's really, really hard, I think, to win these races if you're not in the fastest group in your segment.
Very much so, I think. This is going to be an interesting one. It looks like, unfortunately, we might be stuck to just the C and B races for this race with the unfortunate crash I just had.
Sorry, we'll check in and give some oral updates otherwise.
Yeah.
But I'll stick with Dennis.
I'll see if I can get another one going, but it doesn't look favorable right now.
Well. I'm sure everyone will get what they paid for. Well, there's a super tuck. That's nicely done.
Okay, so the Bs are going up the climb again. So Ian and Jake both sitting there around 10th-ish spot. Looks like they're going through some of the Cs.
Yeah, the C front group is down to 6 now.
Yeah, this B front group is still big. It's still more than half the race. The field is only 24. I think we're at around 16 or 17 in the front group still. Oh, might be losing one or two here though.
I think Dennis is a little closer to the front of the group that you'd want to be when you go through the banner here at the start of the lap. You really, there is definite advantage to being at least the back of the group at the start when you go through the banner, if not even like off the back of the group, if you can have enough juice to catch it back on quick.
Yeah. Very much. I mean, yeah, that tail gunning technique is definitely useful in Summer Racing League. But
I'll tell you, the guys in the A's are they all know it. Like, you can feel the pack literally slow down 100 meters before the start line of every segment, especially on that sprint race. It was like just everyone jockeying to get to the back. And then, of course, guys blow through at 15 watt per kilo sprints.
Well, yeah. So yeah, we're continuing on. Ian looks like Ian's been dropped off just a bit, so he's got 6 seconds. He's in 15th, 6 seconds back from Philippe. A couple more seconds up to what looks like the group. Philippe looks like he's hitting some super tuck. If he's gonna try and bridge that 4 seconds or not. Might hop in on Philippe here. That's starting to look like that's not gonna happen.
Shaking off, eh?
Yeah.
Some of these
out to 8 seconds now. I think Yeah, I think he's probably going to be better off to sit up and wait for Ian at this point. Just going to go up and see. So Jake is it still in that front group? And
Looks like he might
Matthew
be the
Derry.
last herd rider standing.
No, Matthew Derry is still there. Although he's starting to dangle too. No, he's back in. This is a really easy descent to get knocked off on.
Yeah, it's terraced, but the steep parts are steep, and if you don't hit him with speed, if the other guys punch it up, you can get shaken off for sure.
Yeah. I will say, I think I wish I'd raced this race. This looks like a fun group here in the Bees. Okay.
Yeah, the C's are about to come through the top of lap 3, so Dennis is there's a couple C's that really push it early. Well, I don't know, define how you want to call it, early or whatnot, but you know they send a long sprint at the end of these laps for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I mean, it's hard to argue with the concept. It's
Yeah. Dennis looks like he was about 4th wheel across here on lap 3. And that'll probably be about his time spacing. They were all pretty tightly bunched at the bottom, so.
yeah.
Alan Cheville looks like he might have snagged 2nd on that one.
Okay.
That's a good lap from Alan. And Nate Holm looks like he might be dropping off this front group. You know, they're definitely in a full war of attrition here. There were 7 when they started that climb, and they're down to 5 here. 5-6 seconds to the next 2 riders who were at the start of that group, and I don't know if they'll make up these 5 seconds on the descent or not. And this is where you're 5 seconds back. Do I waste these matches chasing to get to the front group, or do I just chill and catch them on a climb during the segment?
Yeah, or just wait and climb with the next group that comes along.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, yeah, if you're in this C front group, I don't think the Bees have caught them yet.
Nope.
I think they're going to, because the
Yep.
Bees are flying. So the Bees are.
Sounds like they're racing real hard.
So they're getting the Bees are getting close to the top of the KOM now.
So let's see how
Whoa.
Dennis.
Matt Derry just launched big sprint at the top of the climb this time. Jake looks like he's still hanging on the back of the group, but he's at the back at 11th.
Nice.
Matt Derry was
So Dennis has crossed the boundary in first again.
okay. Interesting.
Al,
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, it's not necessarily worth playing those games all that much, but you do lose just a split second.
yeah.
You've got to be ahead by that many bike lengths if you're behind by that many, if you're ahead by that many bike lengths at the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, he was only a half wheel,
Yeah.
he wasn't busting off the front, but it looks like there is a bit of an attack going, though, from 2 riders here. So the Nate Holm and the one other rider who got dropped, who's been in this pink kit, which is actually amazing, have caught the back of the group here. So they're actually kind of going to be in the driver's seat for this one if they can finish in the group right at the top,
Wow,
because they've
yeah.
just caught in the climb, right? So they had that attack has come back though from those top ones, and it looks like Nate is just dangling here. Oh, he got it. Ah, nice push by Nate there. So if he's got this group, if he can hold this group and then hold it across the top, he'll be in a real good spot to take some points, to move up a bit. There is some big sprints that come out of this group though, so.
Yeah, the Bs look to be the same every lap. It's yeah, and just kicking each other at the top to try and get that point. So they just crossed. Looks like Matthew and Jake were both not at the back, but close to the back of the group, crossing at the bottom. Just switch here.
These do seem to be slowing down in between though. I'm seeing some sort of 1.5, 2.0 numbers here as they're in the climb, but not close to the end yet.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a big attack going early. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
See if that'll stay away. Yeah, I wonder if he's trying to go with this A rider. There's an A rider who just came in here. I don't know if that guy is destroying the A's or what, but
I know when I was
was-
looking, the A field didn't look big, so yeah. It's certainly possible that the A riders are running around solos.
yeah, this Schilling from Cryogen has opened up a gap over the rest of the C's for sure.
Yeah.
7 seconds. Just in about 100 meters, which is, pretty impressive.
Absolutely. Wow.
He like I said, he went with that A rider coming through. Now that A rider has put 9 seconds into him since then, but he tried to go with him. So
Yeah.
he's got the first place points for this segment if it all stays like this.
So I'm trying to figure out the gap here. It looks like a little, well, according to Zwift Power Live, which isn't always the most reliable for this, it looks like about still a minute and a half to 2 minutes that the B's are behind the C's.
No, go ahead and join me.
Oh, so Nate came through. Oh, and Alan was there. So Nate was right in that group, and the pink Betty Designs kit rider was at the front of that group. So he probably got the second place points.
Yep. Whew.
Oh, here they come. Here
Yeah,
come the
that's-
A's.
That's the A's right there.
I
So
don't-
those A's are a lap behind, I think.
Oh, a lap behind that first guy who went through?
No. So the A's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they're at least one lap, if not two, behind the C's at this point, I think. But
Sure. But they'll be moving.
yeah.
Yeah, because they were 10 minutes behind to start. So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's significant. So I've got Matt Derry right now. So he's sitting in towards the front of the pack right now. Looks like Clay Jackson went off the front a little bit, then Alex Cooper, and then Matt Derry and Timmy Time from OTR were the next one's across. Looks like Jake is just about 1 or 2 seconds back. It does look like they're finally starting to let up when they go over the top now. So it does look like they've picked up some A's. Looks like Stuart Lynn is in the group with the B's right now. And yeah, this is where these many lap courses that James keeps putting out get really interesting as you end up with multiple category groups.
Yeah, we haven't really had it too much yet in HSRL, but we'll see it more and more now.
Yep.
So these C's, there's a group of C's now, 7 seconds, 6 seconds back as they go through the KOM banner from the leader.
Oh.
So that's very interesting to see if his time will be faster than any of these 6 riders going together up this climb. I mean, they kind of want to push it, right? Because now you all want to finish in front of them.
Yeah. No, I think you want to put in some digs at the front here.
Yeah. See if they can work together. I don't know. It's the hardest part of Zwift racing is not being able to like lean over and listen. When you need to catch this guy, go take a pull.
Yeah. I just took a pull. You take one, then I'll do another. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Change your the name tag back to the
You kind of try to do it with honor, like you go to the front, you take your 10 or 15 or 30 seconds, but well,
I do
someone
find
dropped
a lot most of the time when you start. So, kind of
Okay, I'm just gonna leave.
the switch is for me. I go through and I put a dig in and almost hard enough to gap a little bit, and then the group will speed up, and then hopefully somebody else does it as well. But that
Yes.
gets rough too.
Yeah, you got to make sure you leave yourself enough in the tank that you don't get dropped yourself.
Yep. Yeah, you can't exactly go hard like you do in a TTT, but just a little dig to get people moving. Oftentimes, everybody will bring the power up just enough that the group will start going a little faster.
Yeah, no, I can't see. So there's some A's now between that C rider and these and the main group here, so I can't see what the split is to see if they're making up time on them. 28.
it's
Oh
hard.
no, he's going. They're not putting time into him at all. They're being way too casual. It's an awfully strong race from a C rider.
Yeah.
I guess he's only at a 3.320 so far.
So this is still a big group of bees all climbing together. I think we're still 10 or 11. And I've lost count of how many laps we're through.
We're at 19 kilometers, so it's that.
Uh, 6, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's the 6th climb. So yeah, so it looks like at this point the B lead pack is within 400 meters of the C lead pack. So we're
Yeah, that'll really be a very interesting dynamic.
yeah, and you kind of forget about that every spring. I always enjoyed playing that when I was a C. You could usually count on the B's passing. You can't always count on the A's passing the B's. Just usually the A pack is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Depends on the course. But the B's are coming through the C's. Some of the C's that have been dropped off that pack now.
We've got Nate and Dennis on the front as they come through. Oh, but the Betty Designs riders going hard.
Ooh.
Oh, good surge by Dennis there. He's got an arrow. Nicely done. He probably got the time on, except for he probably got second on that one. That was well done.
Okay, and so the bees are just coming up to that last turn.
I'm
See
just
Jake
watching
at
like the dots.
yeah, Jake up at and Matt both up at 6 watts a kilogram plus,
Oof.
and looks like they were second and fifth or somewhere around there, as far as across the line, and they were both towards the back of the pack, crossing the start line on that climb. So should be pretty good. Okay, so it's showing 24 seconds now. I'm gonna put a little wager that that's gonna be less when they hit the bottom. How many are left in the C's? That C front group, Brent?
There's still 5 of them. Nate is now 5 seconds off the back. He was there at the top of the finish, but he's been dropped on the descent. And the pink Betty Design Rider is dangling hard here. That would be the 5th one. So he's probably got to put a surge in. This is T. LeDuc. And then there's the one guy who's right off the front, like 20 seconds in front. So I don't know if they'll ever bring him back. He must have found a group up the road, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
He's on like some of the A's that got dropped or something that he's been able to hold. Or he's just that strong
hard
to
to
go
say.
solo.
Yeah. So tough to stay away from a group even of 4.
Yeah, when you're on the road and you can see them, and when you're not going for time, like I think that's part of what's a little confusing is you're trying to race the guys in your group and they're doing that, but they're not cooperating to close the gap to the guy in front, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if they're seeing the same splits like I'm seeing, like you can't quite see where his split is, right?
Yep.
So you can't, it's hard to gap or manage the gap. Because he put 12, 15 seconds into him on that last climb.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll just cheat and go up and see if he's in a group or what he's doing. He looks like he is in like a threesome with an A and a B.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds.
So that's how
Yeah,
he's
perfect
pacing.
perfect recipe for him to get away.
Yeah. Here come the bees now. You can see them.
Yep.
So you'll definitely, if you can, put a big surge in to stay with them. You'll want to do it. I always find it's hard when you're in the faster group. Like I always make sure that I go right through to the front of it when we go through people because it's so easy to lose the wheels, get confused, get sticky drafted, whatever the story is. So when I'm on the fast group catching another slower group, I make sure that I'm like right in the front of it because the last thing you want to be is pushed out the back of your group because you stuck with the slow group.
Yeah. So I think this. Excuse me. I think the sticky draft is gone with the latest pack dynamics.
It's gone. There's
Gone.
Oh, okay.
But you definitely still get some of that effect where the group, the leaders will accelerate as they get into the draft, and you won't because you were already in the draft. So yeah, there's definitely still an effect where you can drop somebody's wheel as you're passing another group.
Yeah, so Nate must have put in a big dig at the bottom half of this climb and got back in the group because he is now in this group where, I mean, it's a mess.
Yep.
It looks like Alan has made it up with the front of the bees, but Dennis is sliding off. He's putting in a big surge here to get there. Nice push, Dennis. Well done. So this group is you can tell that this is a group of some riders who are comfortable and some riders who are hanging,
Yeah.
which fair enough. And when they get, it'll probably break up here in the sprint, I would guess. So they'll have to be very switched on to make sure that you stay at least with your group, because even that's even worse, is if your group goes in front and you don't even hang on with them.
Yeah.
Although again, like we're 40 minutes into this race though, and Dennis has done like a lot of work. He's
Oh yeah.
averaged
And Dennis was on the
230 watts. I mean, he's killing it.
yeah, and he was on the front of that group way more than I expected. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
real rough.
Looks like he's probably dropped it here. I think that B acceleration was a little too much for him to handle.
Yeah, I think doesn't look good, does it?
He's certainly, ramping up a little, but I mean, so those Bs, it looks like none of the Cs were actually able to hold that B group through the sprint. Just looking at the dots.
Yeah.
But then there is that group of 5 Cs that have gone through, and then this
And then-
Kane rider, and then Dennis is just going through now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to try to maybe give it a little gas on the descent to try to get back to that group, or he may just chill and go for his time through these climbs to finish it off. We've still got 1, 2, 3 climbs left, it looks like.
Three climbs left is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. So it looks like he has decided to save his powder for the climbs,
Yeah.
which like is totally legitimate way to dole out your matches.
I did have to argue it's probably the best way to dole them out, but
Yeah, the question is, I guess, whether you like if you hang the group, if you catch it and you hold it, but even that group in front of him is breaking up too, so
yeah.
it's always a question a little bit of, if you can put out 20 extra watts or how much more time can you get by holding a group of 4 or 5 riders.
Yeah, and yeah, I would say this climb, if those 4 or 5 riders are going close to the speed you want to go, you're probably better off staying on them because there's not much for steep spots here. But if they're going slower than you want, then let them go.
Yeah. Well, and the other, I mean, some people have different levels of recovery, different,
Yep.
time trialing abilities, different sprinting abilities. So
No, very much so.
for some people, it might just be totally optimal to sit in at 120 watts, cruise down this hill, and then ramp it back up to 120, 130% of threshold and do it again.
Yep, that sounds like me. I don't know how that's gonna go. I haven't been doing a whole lot of sustained power training, so.
Well, Dennis is not hitting the line in first place this time.
He is.
I see a rider
definitely
stopped at the bottom. I hope that person is not trying to do any shenanigans because that would be sad in a race this long.
not.
Hopefully they're just tired. That group looks like it's coming back together in front of them though, so. But it's not very tight, definitely not very blobby. There he goes. Yeah, there's Dennis laid on the power now, so. Okay, it's just like doing the Omnium 3K time trial like 10 times back to back, right?
Over and over and over again. Yeah.
Ugh. Are you getting into this one this weekend?
I gotta say I don't know, and that's what I said on the Tron earlier.
Yeah, it's 3 races so far this week after the 4 hockey games last weekend. My legs are definitely dead. I said I definitely wasn't racing today, and we'll see how tomorrow feels.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Did you guys end up getting four or whatever, four griffins?
We did. We were four. Um, so that was yeah, Sam and I and Mike and Ross, I think. I'd have to go back and check, but yeah, on exactly who ended up able to go. But yeah, no, we did okay. I was anyway. Yeah, I was hurting eventually, and but we got a result in. We finished the race. We were not last.
Excellent. Yeah, Dennis looks like he is in steady Eddie mode up this climb.
Yeah.
Fair enough. This is a real war of attrition, this stuff.
Yeah. So looking like we're still 11 strong in the B front group with
Just poked ahead to see, and Nate Holm is in essentially the chase group, if you want to call it that, of the C's.
yeah.
There's three
I'll
or
poke
four of
ahead
them.
here as well. So I see Alan there, Nate.
Sorry, I'm laughing because James Bailey's getting some love in the chat.
Oh
I don't know if you
my.
guys are seeing that on the stream, but uh, the only thing I can say is that if you're not tired, if you're not so tired that you can still type, then it couldn't be that bad.
uh,
Oh. Dennis has found a set of B wheels to sit on here as he finishes this lap. That's some good strategy. Work
Very
with
much
whoever you
so.
can find on the course. That's a big part of HSRL.
It so much is, and Stuart Lynn is has been going around with for most of the race with the bees. So I think that's he's. I don't know whether the bees are might well be climbing faster than whatever A group is out there, or Stuart might not have been able to stay with them. So hard to say, but yeah.
Yeah, that might work out for him if they were all broken up.
Yeah. Well, they weren't a big group anyway, so.
Yeah.
So it looks like the C. Speaking of all broken up, the C's are all broken up for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like so. Alan Shovel's in second after that one guy that broke away. Then 7 seconds back to
Nate and one other rider. Yeah.
and Barry, that he's with. Another 14 seconds to a solo rider. Another 14 seconds to a solo rider, and then another 15 seconds back to Dennis. So yeah, it's broken up quite handily.
Well, and those ones in between Dennis and D Kane are out of the race. Like
Yeah,
the one guy's 5 minutes back, the other one's a B.
yeah.
So there you go, Dennis. You got two more left. The one thing that I think would make these races, like people would almost murder themselves over is if you could see where your standings were
Yep. Oh,
um,
100%. I've
in between. Like if you were getting a points output telling you were X points behind this guy or Y points behind that guy,
just
I think it would.
yeah, current standings, points up for grabs on this segment or whatever. If that flashed up instead of the just the leaderboard that you get, yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't.
I've always trying to have a leaderboard in my head, but unless it's the same couple guys finishing close to each other every time, it's tough.
So the A's have not, as a group, I guess, haven't caught all the way up to the B's,
No.
right? They've probably maybe come through them, but not made the lap up on them. Is that basically?
Yes, that
I
sounds
should
right.
picture this.
Yep. Yeah. So the lap is so the lap is less than the 5 minutes
Yeah.
that they started behind. Yeah. For the bees.
All right, Dennis. Lap 89. Way you go. Stay
Yeah.
with that guy if you can.
So the bees, yeah, the bees are still one big group of 11 or 12 guys. Looks like all the bees plus Stewart. Or not all the bees, but half the bees.
That it doesn't tell you anything about AutoCat. Jake Kitchener's in that group, and he's called a C on Zwift Power.
Yes.
But
That doesn't
he
entitle
must.
Jake is strong. I'm not surprised he might be one of those guys caught by the max aerobic power.
I know we start calling that AutoCat. I call it an AutoCat B, but anyway.
Yeah. The category enforcement or critical power or whatever we're gonna
Yeah.
call the new categories. Yeah, looked like Jake was kind of happy just to hang on to the back of the wheels that time. Oh my.
Another big sprint. Dennis has found another pair of wheels. He's lapped up another C, and he's sitting on the wheel.
Hey, why not?
Well, I can't blame him for that. He's got a chance to actually probably finish in time on this lap ahead of a couple of the riders in front of him, if I'm remembering the time gaps.
Yeah, I guess I'm seeing. I think the guy he's with might actually be on the same lap. There's another guy.
Hmm.
I think the guy. Yeah, so the guy.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Two riders up. So there's two riders in front of him. I think one of them is on the same lap as him. The other's a lap down.
Or I think that's right. So he definitely wants to try and stick with that Kawashima rider.
Yeah.
Oh man, it would feel very bad to be going through a lap banner and everyone else was done and you still had to go do it another lap.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Stuart Lynn pushing the pace here on the downhill.
Like he was over 30 seconds back of like Alan and Nate, I think, when this lap started. And now he's under 30 seconds. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's going to get some good points out of this lap if he can keep this pressure on. This Kawashima rider will probably finish in front of him if I'm guessing properly, but he did catch him close to the bottom of the climb, so
Hard to say.
they must be in the sprint up at the top now because that's gone up to 30 plus seconds now.
Yeah, Nate's just going around the last corner. Alan's already through, I think. And yeah, there goes Nate. Back to Dennis. Whew. Looks like Kawashima might catch Nate there.
Yeah, looks like he might. He put a big surge on there once Dennis got onto his wheel. That Schaefer guy that's the A that's like been lapping everyone. Like, what is going on there?
I don't know.
5.5, 20 minute.
Wow. Just wow.
He is an A plus, so
Well, yeah, okay, that's fair then. I expect him to be doing 3 minutes above 4.5, above 4.5 for sure. So
yep.
okay, so still looks like 11-ish in this front group of Bs with Seward.
The race finish line is at the top at the end of this last lap, right? Or do they have to go?
No,
Oh, they have to go back down to the banner again?
I think they have to go back down. Yeah.
Oh, that's so mean.
One last sprint, right?
Yeah. So you've got to sprint for the time at the top, and then like a minute and a half later, you have to sprint for the banner on the downhill.
I don't think that's a minute and a half. I think that's less.
You're probably right.
Okay, so where is the finish line here? So we're gonna, yeah, it is at the bottom. So I think it's 37.1. So one more climb.
Yeah. So Dennis is just through the banner now. All right, give her Dennis one last time. He's always so. Oh, Nate is in that A group.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I don't know how long he's gonna be able to stay with them.
Well, I mean that's some solid draft if you can get some.
Yeah, stay with him as long as you can.
I think Mr. Greenland used that tactic grid effect earlier on one lap anyway.
Lap 5.
Lap 5. Yeah.
Chris Greenland, lap 5 winner. Like, Dennis is putting time into that group. I don't understand what's happening right now. There's some shenanigans happening. I think there's a group of A's between Dennis and that other group, and I wonder if they're waiting for them or something.
Oh, that's
There's
possible.
like some sort of team tactic thing going on.
Oh, maybe. It is hard to say.
Nate has dropped out of that group now, though.
Yep, I see.
So it's Dennis versus Nate. Go on, Dennis. Go catch him. Last lap. Legs gone. You're doing good, Nate. Hang in there. You've had a heck of a race.
So it looks like, yeah, we're getting close for the bees. They're a kilometer left, under a kilometer left to go. So it's they're going to be very.
But do you think they have any idea who's been winning?
I don't know. Honestly, they've been so tight together, both at the bottom and the top. I mean, there's been a couple guys breaking off the group on both, but it's it's crazy. I don't think they have any idea. I certainly don't.
I've definitely been in races where I can like sort of know I'm like within the group of X number of 3-4 people, but
Yeah.
usually I can tell if I'm first or not.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that was my my bullseye on Wednesday. I knew I wasn't first, but I was pretty sure I'd done pretty well. I was also pretty sure Ian had done pretty well, so that one ended up. Yeah, Ian was the position behind me. Come on, Dennis.
There you go. Last climb. Dig in, dig in. Oh, he's starting to put a little time into Nate now if he can hold the climb. Oh, it's falling off. Stay in there. Attaboy. Push, 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 push. Oh, yeah,
Oh.
another second off.
It looks like some of the bees have been lapped and picked back up into the main group, the front group.
Oh,
So
just to add to the complications.
That's yeah. Well, that's going to add to the complications on if they get the same climb times at this lap as the lead group did last lap. Yeah, that's going to get interesting.
So Wade is totally catching Nate here at the end of this climb.
Oh yeah.
He's put 10 seconds into him. Nate did post a couple messages that were like, "I'm dead." He said my legs are gone.
Yeah.
So these two will be then in the finishing sprint here on the downhill. This will be good, fun finish to watch.
I think so.
Go on, Nate. Stay with him. Make a race of it. There you go. Yes, you'll get the countdown timer, but you can't really. That's a hard spot to see the banner.
Did you look at the
There's a turn.
live stream chat?
You just have to go off the distance in your thing.
Yeah. Now I'm not even sure. How long is this? Okay, so it is 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Maybe it ends at 37.5.
Maybe it ends at 37.5. I don't know what's
I'm
going
seeing,
on.
I'm seeing the time gap chart goes up to 40, but the course profile goes to 37.5.
Yeah. But the bees are still racing at 38.6, so I'm guessing they're not doing it for fun.
So where's the finish line? Back at the top again?
I don't know.
We're so prepared. It's 10 shows them having finished 10 climbs.
It does, yeah.
Oh my god, it would be so mean if there was like an untimed climb finish at the end. Which it's starting to look like there might be.
It does.
Oh, this is so mean.
I really thought the lead-in was just to the to that bottom banner, not to the top.
Oh, right. The lap doesn't start to go through the banner at the top?
I don't know. No, it looks like it's at the bottom. Here they are. Yeah, it's at 40. It's at 40K. Wow.
Gross. So you have to do the climb 11 times, actually.
No. Well, maybe. I'm not sure.
I mean, Dennis is still, I think, on the race course, and they're going back up again.
Yep. No, you're right. That's 11. So the Bs are now done. So we'll try and
Wow.
zoom in here.
I've learned something if I do this race this weekend, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you would have seen the distance counter at the top, and maybe you've done that math already in your head, but Dennis may roll back in one more C up here. There's, he's 10 seconds, but that guy has put a bit more gas on. Dennis is finishing with some really strong climbs here at the end.
Yeah, no, he's
For kind of basically having to do it solo.
yeah, he's kind of metered his effort well.
That's one part of anticlimactic about a broadcast is, and the racers are done.
And the racers are done.
Results. Excuse me.
Yeah. So it looks like Jacob crossed the line. Jake Hitchner crossed the line in third, and Matt Derry in sixth. So very good finishing sprints by them. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see on what that means in the points.
Oh, and Dennis is clawing back in another rider here. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. So he clawed back Nate last lap. Now he's clawing back in this D Kane rider.
Yeah.
Good late move.
So we'll have to ask James, or I guess I might look at race one now, on whether the all 11 primes count, including the lead-in.
Yeah.
No, it's only showing 10. I don't know.
Maybe we just miscounted. I was looking at the wrong dots on the thing.
I don't know. That
That is possible.
yeah, well, the picture in Zwift Power isn't necessarily entirely accurate either.
That might also be the issue. There you go. So Dennis has caught this D Kane rider right at the banner. He's going to go through him. Oh, D Kane has put on a big surge to finish, but it shouldn't matter. I mean, Dennis was way behind him at the bottom of that hill, so he's definitely put points on that guy. Nicely done. I'll be curious. Some of these, like, they're a minute up the road with Alan Cheville and these other riders, but I'll be curious if some of his climb times aren't close.
So yeah, absolutely. But I don't think that's the end.
No, they got to go back down, obviously, to
Yeah,
the finish.
so they're the finish is at the bottom. So yeah, Dennis is going to have to sprint it out with Mr. Kane here. Doesn't look like there's anyone they're going to catch, or who's likely to catch them. With Nate a minute back. Being the closest, I think.
So the A's looks like they're finishing ahead of. So the A's did catch the C's.
Did they catch the C's or just? Yeah, they did catch the C's. Yeah, so they.
Or at least most of the A's caught most of the C's.
Yeah, so the lead group of A's caught the lead C's.
Yep.
But they did not catch the lead B's.
I don't know, what kind of a sprinter is Dennis? I've never watched him sprint.
I think he's kind of a long sprinter kind of guy, but I don't know. I'm trying to go off memory from ZRL broadcasts.
So the guys against has already sent us arrow. Oh, 700 watts, nice
Yeah.
power there.
So it's a downhill finish. So
he's
it's
in his wheels and he's got the truck. Come on. Oh, he
oh,
got him.
Nice sprint.
Nice sprint. Well done. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was very well done.
Probably didn't feel very fun for him, but
Well, it was fun to watch.
fun to watch.
And that's what's important to us.
Exactly.
Well, so thanks everybody. That was a very interesting race, and we may have possibly done a little less prep than we should have, but now we're ready to go for our races. So good to go.
We all learned something together today.
We did.
All right. Well, thanks, Craig, for putting this all together. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I don't know. Has people been giving us crap in the chat? I don't even know.
A little bit. So
Perfect.
nothing we don't deserve.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for watching. And everybody enjoy your races. We'll see you out there. Moo.
Good night.